This is GabNet, the Great American Broadcast Network, now in its 7th year. Talk like you've never heard it before.
Live from Harlem, it's the Ramble with me. I'm Alex Bennett, and we'll be here until, I guess, midnight tonight, unless I pass out before then, because I'm an old man, and I don't know if I can last that long anymore. Anyway, it's time, as we do every Tuesday, to go to our old friend, who is, let me see here, if we can bring him in here, we can dial him in. He's in, you're in where? What?
I'm in Denver.
Move your camera so your head is up a little more into the frame.
Yeah, I'll have to hold the thing.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
So, I'm in Denver.
Mm-hmm.
This iPad it's a little stranger on Zoom. I don't know exactly what I'm doing with it, but it's working, right?
Look into your camera.
I don't even know where the camera is.
Oh, it's in the on the iPad. So, it's off to the side. Yeah, that's why you're looking off to the side.
Yeah,
because that's where the camera is. You know?
Well, this is my first time on a plane in 17, 18 months.
You don't look like you're on a plane. It looks like you're in an airport with a lot of fat women.
Yeah, well, I took that picture to show how people were social distancing at the airport. And it was not a pretty picture.
No, it doesn't look like a pretty picture.
I also don't know how to take it off of this thing. It's not like the Mac Pro.
Well, but, you should know how to you know how to get it on.
I got it on before I said join with audio, or with video, and there was a button you could press.
Don't you have a thing on your iPad that allows you to go up and change the picture?
No, it's not that simple. But iPads are a little stranger.
Yeah.
Anyway, it's a holiday today. Is that why Charlie hasn't posted the count and the amount?
It's a holiday today?
Yeah. According to my iPad, the calendar says it's Eid al-Adha all day long.
What is it? Eid al-Adha?
Yeah, EIDAL.
Let me see if it comes up. Is that on your Apple?
It's on
your
the
Apple calendar. Well, let me look at my Apple calendar.
I can't get rid of the thing either. Even when you turn off holidays, it's still there.
No, just says What? Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, it says the exact day of this holiday is difficult to predict. It's just an approximation, 7/20. So.
7/20.
Yeah. Today's the 20th.
Oh,
right?
Today is the 20th, isn't it? Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
So it's some odd holiday. EIDAL DHAA. Al-Diha. Ha. But I figure that's why Charlie took the night off.
Oh, okay. All right.
I was looking for the count and the amount. So traveling is kind of interesting.
Mm-hmm.
Getting on the plane, I flew first class. And the reason why is that if you want the seats in main cabin that are a little bit larger, you have to pay extra for every leg of the flight.
Mm-hmm.
So $70, depending on where you want to sit. So I had 4 legs. I had to go from San Francisco to Phoenix, from Phoenix to Denver, and then Denver to Phoenix and back to San Francisco. So I figured it would have cost me, I don't know, 200 and something bucks. And then one of the legs, I couldn't even get the main cabin seat. So I would have had to sit these little minuscule seats with 3 across, and your knees are up in the.
Wait a minute. You don't want to fly coach, I assume.
I would prefer not to.
Okay, so you're flying
I
what?
flew first class.
First class.
Yeah.
Why? To
And,
Denver? You pussy.
Yeah. Well,
to
but
Denver?
if
You're going to waste money on first class?
Yeah. Well, they had snacks, and
How much total did they charge you for first class to Denver?
the total ticket was about $900.
Really? That's all?
Yeah.
How much would it have been in coach?
400 and something, and then to get or 300 and something, and then to get those upgraded seats, I would have been around 550, $600.
No, well, I guess the difference isn't that bad if you got first class. But, first class domestic is not as good as first class international.
Oh, that's for sure. The seats are bigger, they're a little more comfortable, but first class international, you get those sleeper seats. Sometimes, there's a curtain that goes around, you get your own TV, nice light, real comfortable seat.
Yeah.
And there's maybe 6 feet between you and the seat in front of you.
Well, what happened was years ago when I had a person in San Francisco work for, who was it? TWA. And she said, anytime you want to fly to Europe, just let me know and just go out and buy a coach ticket and I'll upgrade you to first class.
Nice.
Yeah. So,
what happened?
when Kathleen and I went to Europe, I called her and she upgraded both of us, both ways, first class.
Yeah.
From San Francisco. But from San Francisco to New York, it was first class. But it wasn't first class. It was more like
expanded coach,
expanded business. Okay.
Yeah.
Maybe they give you, would you like a free champagne, or would you like a truffle, or something.
Yeah.
Then to Europe, it was like, would you take the spittle off my chin, please? Thank you.
Yeah, that's right.
And it was wonderful. It was, it was luxurious. Okay.
Yeah.
But what I found is that if you just bought anything domestic, I mean, first class domestic just wasn't even worth it.
Well, it wasn't that much more, and they give you extra miles. I don't fly Delta because I'm afraid of the variant, so I'm flying on American. The COVID variant.
Yeah, it's called the Delta.
Yeah, Delta variant.
Yeah.
So I'm flying American. I don't have to worry about it.
Right.
But
there's no Delta variant on United.
On American.
On American.
So yeah. Actually, it felt good to fly again. But these conventions, I can't wait to get home.
I always, whenever I had to go to a convention or something, or like we would sometimes do. When I was with Play Incorporated, we would go down for the CES trade show, Consumer Electronics
Vegas?
Show, and we'd be there for 5 days. I couldn't wait to get home. I mean, living in a hotel for 5 days. I mean, after about the third day, you're going squirrely.
Yeah,
especially if you don't gamble.
Yeah. Well, what hotel is close to that big convention center? Is it the Sands or? Where did you stay?
I think the Hilton is near. The convention center. I think it's the Hilton's the closest one. But we were in. We stayed. Where did we stay? We stayed, I think, in the Rio. For one of the conventions. I don't know what we did for the others. I'm trying to remember, but it was the Rio, I think.
Well, talking about Vegas, I guess now indoors they're asking you to mask up. And so they're afraid that's going to be bad for business. And, I don't know whether to believe the news or not, because I think the news tries to scare people so that they will get better ratings and they'll get more people watching it. But, every time I look, they're saying that more people are getting the Delta COVID, and, and all over it's getting a lot worse now. Los Angeles and Las Vegas, I think, are the two cities that have added masking. Is there anything going on in New York?
Not really, not that I know of. Oh yeah, the mayor put out a thing that all people working in medical facilities in New York must be vaccinated, or they
Can they
cannot
do
be.
that?
Yes, they can. You
Wow.
know, I mean, these are health workers, for crying out loud. You know, you have a right
Yeah.
to try and maintain good public health. You know, this whole thing about the right of people not to get vaccinated, I don't think they have that right. I don't think where the public is concerned and the welfare of the public is concerned.
I think that
I mean, what do
when-
we have to do to prove that getting vaccinated will save your life and save the lives of others?
Well, I read a thing that the new prime minister of Israel, your namesake Bennett, said that the
Not two bad
Pfizer-
things. Israel calls themselves a Jewish state, and the guy's name is Bennett. I got two things against me now.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I mean, they're coming after you.
Yeah.
So anyway, he's saying that the Delta variant and the Pfizer is not as the Pfizer is not as strong against the Delta variant according to the Israeli tests. But then I read other stuff that says no, the Pfizer.
No, they say the
is
Pfizer's
perfect.
is fine, Moderna's fine. This is the CDC, but Johnson & Johnson may be a little weaker against the Delta. However, it still prevents you from dying from it.
Yeah.
Okay,
Well, the
so-
Johnson & Johnson is just a Band-Aid.
Yeah. Well, yeah.
But
By
so,
the way, yeah, go ahead. Yeah.
no, this, as I said, this is my first trip out into the world,
Mhm.
and it proves it can be done. But there's almost 1,000 people at this convention, and a lot of them are saying, "Hey, I'm a little worried." I went down to the gym this morning, 5:30 a.m., and I saw the CEO of Carpet One, and he was starting to work out. And I said, "Are you going into the yoga room?" And he says, "Nah." He says, "I'm really worried about going to a gym and working out, with what's going on." So, it's
So there's a fear there.
yeah, there's a fear, and I think it's pretty pervasive. Nobody's wearing a mask, only on the plane. And in the airport, people were wearing a mask, but outside of the airport,
Yeah.
and as long as you weren't on the plane, you didn't have to wear it. And the other good thing about first class is they were always giving you a drink, or they were always giving you peanuts or some sort of snack, and so you could take the mask off. And
Yeah, well, that's nice that you could do that, but they're charging a lot of money now for the airlines, and they're
Yeah.
charging a lot for baggage.
yeah, I carried on.
Yeah, but I mean, it just yeah, I remember the days when I was younger, where you went on an airplane and you got dressed up.
Right.
You got dressed up. The women dressed in their finest dresses, and men wore suits. It was a snazzy
Right.
thing you were doing.
The meals were gourmet. You had
Well, they
nice
weren't
fine
gourmet,
china.
but they were certainly better than they are now.
Well, the plane they used for what was that movie where the one with the snakes and
Snakes on a plane?
no, Raiders of the Lost Ark.
Oh, okay.
Okay, the plane that they used was being restored in Richmond.
Oh, that was
And-
that was the seaplane.
It was a seaplane. It was,
was a
made by Hughes,
Yeah, yeah.
and
It was
and
meant for
I-
it was a seaplane that wasn't just for a couple of people. It was like a passenger seaplane.
Right.
Yeah.
And I went on that plane and looked at the seats. The seats were like rattan, and they were like a woven rattan. It was very nice. They were restoring it, and they used it in the movie. It's not there anymore. The old Ford plant, which was in Richmond, I guess was active during World War II.
Yeah.
Which is now used for a whole bunch of stuff. but that's where the guys were restoring it. It was very interesting,
Yeah.
and it was cool to go on it, sit in the cockpit,
Mhm.
and and walk around.
So I gotta ask you something, since you're the Trump fan.
Hmm.
Another one of Trump's people, his campaign manager.
Yeah, they
Yeah.
stole money, I guess.
Yeah, yeah. Here's now maybe the 10th person in his immediate circle, okay, who has been arrested. All right, and I'm beginning to wonder when I think he did keep his campaign promise. The one
What
about,
was that?
the one about draining the swamp. Only we didn't realize he wanted to drain it to get all his employees and people to work with him.
Well, I don't know the full story about this, but there are people that look. If you look at AOC's campaign manager is her boyfriend,
Hmm.
and she diverted $1 million into his company for services. And is that ethical?
Well,
You
did
know,
he perform services? That's the question.
well, he slept with her.
But no. But did he perform services for her campaign? And if he did, then I suppose, and maybe he put out money for stuff, and they needed to buy, to
But
purchase ads and things like that, and it was done through him. You don't know. What are you doing? You're just watching Fox. That's all.
No, but I'm asking you: is it ethical for like a semi-family member to be?
It happens all the time. Okay.
Yeah.
And if you were running for political office, wouldn't you use people closest to you? Wouldn't they be the ones you trust the most?
I don't. Yes, but I don't know how ethically correct that is, or legally, for that matter. This guy on the Trump campaign, they said he diverted money, but we don't know until they investigate.
Well, they did investigate. That's why they arrested him today.
Yeah,
They
well,
found
you
cause to charge him with
Right.
these things. Okay.
right, but he's not convicted.
He's not convicted yet, so I mean we got to wait for that. But I'm just saying, my line was, when he said he was going to drain the swamp, why? So that's where he was going to get his employees from,
Yeah, probably.
because
yeah.
man, that's a swamp if you look at those pictures.
Well, hey, talking about swamps, Texas, they sent all of their Congress people didn't want to vote on this Voting Rights Act in Texas, so they leased
Well,
a
they did this once
plane.
before. They did this once before, That
Yeah,
happened
but
once
now
before.
5 or 6 of them have COVID,
Yeah.
and I thought that
I
they
don't
were
know,
all
there's 5 or
vaccinated.
6, but they enough that Pelosi's worried. 'Cause she
Well,
came into contact.
Pelosi's aide came down with COVID, and I believe that they think that this is due to all the representatives from Texas coming up and meeting with Pelosi. But they also met with Kamala Harris. So now, but Kamala Harris, we saw on TV, she was one of the first to get a COVID injection.
Yeah, well, I mean, the thing is that if you have a COVID injection, you could still come down with COVID.
Yeah.
You can still test
Well-
positive for COVID if you come into contact with somebody, but it doesn't mean you're going to get it, okay? Or
Yeah.
that you're even going to probably give it to anybody else. But, everybody's being very safe these days,
Yeah.
except for the people who don't get their vaccinations. And I got to say to them, you want to die? Go ahead, but don't die on my dime.
Well,
You know?
I don't know. A lot of people are saying, "Oh, Republicans don't want to get vaccinated." There are people that are afraid of vaccinations, and I don't know that it's necessarily that they're Republican.
You know why
or
they're
Democrat.
afraid of them? They're afraid of getting a shot. They're pussies. They don't want a needle stuck in their arm.
Yeah,
But the fact
well,
is that this needle is going to save your life. Okay?
you don't feel it.
You don't feel it
Did
at
you?
all. No.
I didn't feel it.
Just a little. If anything, just a little sting. A little.
Yeah, just a prick. That's
That's
you.
you.
like
That's
you.
you.
Hey, are you still using the Theraputty?
Yes, I am. As a matter of fact, I had the Theraputty here
Yeah, me too.
Yeah.
I'm on black.
You're on black.
Yeah, black didn't come with the
The
kit.
most, yeah, I know, but
I had to order
the
it
heavier
special.
one, I can't even get out of the jar. You know,
Yeah.
I like the red because it's light and it's fun and it gives me the exercise I need. You
Yeah.
know,
Has it made a difference?
not maybe a little, maybe a tiny
Yeah.
bit, but I don't use it that much. You know, we're talking
Mhm.
about this putty, folks, which is
Yeah.
a silicone putty that you take out of this jar and then you just squeeze on it. And it's supposedly good if you got arthritis. It helps a little bit with the arthritis.
Yeah.
You know.
My fingers used to be in a lot of pain. Faye used to have to rub them all the time. And now that I'm using this, I don't tell her I'm out of pain, so she continues to massage my
Okay,
hands.
good. I was going to say, don't give up on having her rub your hands. But tomorrow I'm going to my eye guy about my lids being operated on.
Uh-huh.
So in a couple of weeks, when this happens, folks, I won't be on for about a week. Mainly because it'll only take 3 days for me to get over it, for it to start healing. But I'll look like crap. I'll look like somebody beat the crap out of me, I think.
Wear sunglasses.
I don't want to, I would love to wear sunglasses now on this show because the lights are starting to be too bright for me for some reason,
Wow.
Yeah.
Do you think that's the tears? Maybe.
No, that's not it. I've put all kinds of stuff in my eyes to try and make things good, and it's not that good.
Yeah.
But anyway,
Well-
the thing with the lids is they gotta bring the lids up and down, and because I have trouble watching television because I don't have a full field of view. My lids come down too far.
Oh.
So it's going to help me with that, and whatever. I figure I'll get it. I'm just afraid of the pain and the negativeness of it. I don't like the idea of it. But I got to do it because my eyes are just.
Did they put you under when they
No,
do this?
no, they don't.
Or just give you a local?
They just give you a local, and then I guess they give you some Valium or something, and just kind of put you in la la land.
Yeah.
While they do it. But he
Yeah.
says
I like the propofol.
well, they say they don't put you out. I wish they put me out, but I think
Propofol doesn't put you out.
I don't think that. Well, yes, it does.
When they did my angiogram, they gave me propofol, and I was in La La Land, but I was able to talk to the surgeon.
Oh well, then
during
they
the whole
didn't give you.
thing.
They didn't give you propofol. Propofol
No.
just puts you out totally.
Okay, because I asked the guy, what are you giving me? And I thought that's what he said.
No, I mean like what I had when I had my prostate
Kidney stone?
thing, the
Prostate,
seed implantation. They didn't want to put me out because of my age. So I said, what are you going to do? They're going to say a spinal tap. And I always thought that was terrible. But it really isn't. They just went in the back, a little sting in the back. And the next thing I know, I'm Patrick.
Right. Well, that's
I'm
what they
dead
give
below the
pregnant women.
waist. Yeah, I'm dead
Yeah.
below the waist. And then they gave me Valium, intravenous Valium, and I was in La La Land, but I could hear them all around me, and I got to hear for the first time in my life what goes on when you go under surgery and they start talking to each other.
Oh, about their vacation.
So what are you doing this weekend? Well, wait a minute, hold on a second. Hand me the sutures, please. I think I'm going out to Fire Island this weekend. Oh, good. By the way, how's your kids? Oh, my kids are fine, And I'm going, but why don't you people should be like they are on television. Sutures, scalpel. Oh, give me a clamp,
Yeah. No, it's a party.
Yeah.
And I'll cry if I want to.
Yeah, but I mean, I didn't feel a thing, and I was pretty much in La La Land, and the worst part was afterwards that what, is your hand up or something?
I was holding the thing so that it would be at the right angle for the head, and my hand must have gotten.
But anyway, the
hand.
thing that really got me was that it just, after it was over, it took 3 hours for the spinal to go away. And
Yeah.
I felt rather frustrated that I couldn't even get up. I couldn't walk. I couldn't do anything. I couldn't feel anything below my waist.
Yeah,
Which,
well,
which,
that's
which,
like me. When I had my operation, it's still good for nothing. Well, it's good for peeing. You know?
yeah, yeah, but yeah, but you don't have any problems with that anymore, do you?
Yeah.
Oh,
You mean the prostate or?
Yeah, prostate peeing and stuff like that.
No, well, I've been peeing a lot, and I think it has to do with a diabetes medicine that they're giving me.
Oh, okay, that's possible.
And at my gym, the guy says, "Look, if you start following what I'm telling you to do, and you follow my nutrition stuff," he says, "you'll be off all that diabetes medicine in 6 weeks."
Really? Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Well, listen to them and see what happens, and let me know.
Yeah.
But I just, it's something when you go through something like that. And I know that you went through the prostate removal. I mean, they just
Right.
stuck a bunch of seeds in mine, and now it looks like a chia pet. So.
Grew hair.
Yeah, I just imagine it like a chia pet.
Yeah.
But I don't find the prostate is all that functional anymore.
No.
And the penis has a little trouble getting up. So.
Yeah. Well, mine has more than a little trouble.
Huh?
It's useless.
It's useless.
Yeah.
I came up with I learned a great term from my father years ago, and then I've used it in a joke when I said my penis is now a vestigial organ. A vestigial organ being an organ that doesn't work anymore, but it's still there,
Yeah. Well,
your appendix is a vestigial organ.
Yeah. When I was a kid, I used to listen to these old men, and they say, "Oh, it's only good for peeing." Now I know what they meant.
Yeah. Well, I got many good years out of it. Okay.
Oh yeah, me too.
I
had a lot of activity.
I have a lot of great memories of things I did with my penis.
Yes. And places I put it.
Yeah. So I can live with the fact that it's not as functional. I mean, I don't know that it's as functional because I don't go out and get any strange and stuff like that. So I don't know if I were in that kind of situation, if I would suddenly be aroused enough. But all I know is that in certain masturbatory activities, it does, but not much.
Yeah, I understand.
Probably doing better than yours.
Much better than mine.
Yeah, you have no prostate. They removed the thing completely.
Yeah.
And,
well, at least I don't get the sheets.
Here
dirty.
we are, folks. It's two old men talking about our prostate conditions and our operations. No, there are many things they can do, folks. They can remove the prostate, or they can do as they did with me. First they gave me radiation, and then my penis glowed in the dark for a couple of weeks, and then they went in and did the seeds, and now I have no. They have the PSA is what they judge whether they have cancer or something, and I don't have any PSA problems at all.
Yeah, I have no PSA.
I have no PSA at all. Yeah.
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 And I need to go in for one of those tests pretty soon and make sure.
Well, I just went in for one recently. I was worried about it, and then he writes me, "Congratulations! No, we can't find a pulse when it comes to your
for your prostate,
your PSA. You just no discernible PSA." So I went, okay, I'll buy that for as long as I can. But
it looks like that guy from Brooklyn, who was a police captain, is going to be possibly your new mayor. Unless it's
no, it's not going to be. It's not going to be Curtis.
Curtis,
Nah.
Sliwa.
No,
Sliwa.
hasn't even got a chance.
Yeah.
In New York, come on.
Yeah. They haven't been able to elect a Republican there in years.
I mean, I suppose I should be for Curtis Sliwa because he's a fan of mine. But I don't know if that's any reason to necessarily vote for him.
Yeah. Well, we'll see if this guy from Brooklyn. I forgot his name, but it looks like he's the heir apparent.
Yeah. But every mayor we get sucks, so it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
One pretty much
Well,
sucks like the other.
do you remember Lindsay?
Yeah, Lindsay. Yeah.
Yeah. Didn't he come up with the story, the Big Apple? Didn't he coin that phrase?
I don't know if he did or not.
Yeah, I
I
thought
don't know. I'm trying to. I should look it up and see who invented the term the Big Apple,
Yeah.
and why even you called it that. What is it? The Big Apple. It's not.
Yeah.
It doesn't look like an apple. It's not round. The shape of it isn't an apple.
Yeah. Well, I thought he coined that phrase.
I don't-
John Lindsay. Yeah.
Well, wait a minute. Okay, let me look it up here. Who coined the term? Who coined the term Big Apple?
The Big Apple.
Well, it'll Big Apple. Okay, there we
I wouldn't
go.
be surprised if I was wrong, but
The Big Apple nickname for New York City was first popularized in the 1920s.
wow.
by John J. Fitzgerald, a sports writer at the New York Morning Telegraph. Its popularity since the 1970s is due by a promotional campaign by the New York Tourist Authority.
I see. And so Lindsay just used to call it the Big Apple.
Right, but it's called the Big Apple because I guess it was a sports writer who probably, it sounds like it would be a sports writer,
Yeah.
That makes sense?
Yeah.
Yeah. So-
Hey, it's interesting. I'm glad you looked it up. 'Cause
Yeah, I noticed I've
really
only
didn't
got
know
one
that.
person waiting to talk.
Really?
Yeah.
Who is it?
Vernon.
Vernon.
Yeah.
Oh, put him on, and I'll
okay.
fill in for a little while.
Okay, let me see here. Let me get rid of your Phil Meyer. There
Name,
we go. And let me just bring him in. Why not?
All right.
Okay, here comes Vernon. Vernon. Here comes Vernon. Hello, Vernon.
Hey, Vernon.
How are you? We thought we'd bring you in. You're the only person who's called tonight.
Wow.
This is the worst it's ever been. I mean, not that Phil is the worst it's ever been, but he's close.
Yeah, Alan told me that he was going to the city to smoke cigars with a friend. Actually, it's a friend of mine too. Yeah.
Oh. Well, that's good. Then he didn't get on Friday because
Yeah.
Friday was I did a show with just 3 hand-selected people.
That was a
I
nice show.
watched that. That was a nice show.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, what we do is every Saturday night we get together. Oh, here comes Jeffrey. We get together, and we just get on Zoom and talk with each other for a couple hours. And it's become a tradition on most Saturday nights when most of us can make it. And so I said to them once, I said, "Hey, why don't we do this some Friday night? Just do the show like this." Because we have such a nice camaraderie with each other, and it's really an intelligent, substantive discussion. And they said, fine. In fact, they suggested I bring you on with them, Phil.
Yeah, I heard.
Which I found unusual, because I wouldn't think that Josh and Kevin
Oh,
would want you on. Maybe Patrick, but they all said, yeah, he could be here. We have nothing against him.
I like the fact that you have a place where you feel comfortable, and that you talk to these guys and they feel comfortable. So
I was
I
trying
don't know what
I was
could
trying
add
to recreate that mood. It's a little hard to recreate it only because when we're doing it, we're not watching our P's and Q's. I think we're a little more careful about what we have to say when we know it's going out on the show. Okay.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. No, I understand, and plus you don't want to get demonetized or.
No, well, it's nothing like that. But anyway, so we didn't do a show really on Friday. Now, Charlie Wallace isn't here tonight because Charlie is doing his what do you call it? His umpiring. 4 nights this week.
Wow.
And it's the 4 nights I'm on.
So is that why there's no count in the amount? I see.
That's why.
No
yes.
COVID update.
Yes.
No COVID
That's
update.
exactly the reason. So,
Yeah. Well, this iPad is not that easy to hold. I'm glad you got these two guys here because I'm going to have to go to sleep soon. You know, it's an hour difference between San Francisco and Denver.
Oh, we. Like it's only 9 o'clock. What is it there now? It's 10 o'clock.
It's 9:10.
9:10.
But this morning I got up at 4:30 and I went to the gym at 5:30.
Mm-hmm.
And I tried to do some of the things that I've been doing in the class that I've been taking. And I think that the class I'm doing most resembles something called CrossFit. And so they had a kettlebell, which is this bell, and you swing it between your legs. And
makes you feel like you still have testicles, huh?
well, yeah, you know, those were big balls. and then the medicine ball, I use that, and you lift it, put it over your head. This is, I was able to, I didn't use the escalator.
What do we have to do? Get you to go all the way to Denver in order to work out?
Well, no, I'm working out at 5:30 in the morning on Mondays, Thursdays, and 9 a.m. on Saturdays.
And how's that affected you?
Put it this way, I went up and down the stairs rather than take the escalator, and it's pretty steep. I wasn't out of breath. I took the stairs at a fast jump.
I've been going out and walking, you know, every day, and lately I haven't because it's been too hot, and I miss that, you know. But no, people have asked me what you look like, thin, and I said fat.
Oh, what I look like then?
Yeah, fat.
Well, you were, you know, when I helped you out at Camel, I was about 140.
Oh, you were just a broth of a child then. You were.
Yeah.
You know, when you finally showed up on here, I first didn't recognize you.
Yeah.
I still don't, actually. I just take it at your word that you knew me way back when.
Well, you know, I was the only guy you could trust at 4 in the morning for you to pick me up in Sausalito, and we go into Camel, and I would produce your show because you needed somebody to train while you went on vacation with Susan. And so during that summer, you trained me for several weeks, and then I helped the jocks that filled in for your show.
Yeah. I seem to remember that vaguely.
Yeah, and do you remember using my apartment with Red?
No, I don't.
Wow.
Red was a lady friend that I had.
Yeah.
But I don't remember. I don't know. Why would I be using your...
Because you were still living with Susan.
Oh, I still had a wife. God, was I a terrible human being back then? Yes, right. What's wrong with your hand, Vernon? Why have you got that?
It's a compression glove for arthritis.
Oh, really? Oh, see, what we're using is this. You know, but a compression glove for arthritis. I should think about that. I went and got the shot.
Yeah.
And it didn't work.
The cortisone?
It worked for a couple of days, and then it came back again.
My right hand is starting to have problems down here in the metacarpal.
Right down here,
area.
Right in that area.
My wife had it operated on in December of 2019, right before COVID. She's fine now, but mine's starting to act up like hers did 2 years ago.
Mine, they just gave me cortisone shots, but it didn't seem to help it. And
she had those before they actually did the surgery to fix it.
Oh, I see.
They went in and fixed it then.
Well, my doctor told me that this area right here is where most older people get arthritis. If you get arthritis, most people will get it right there. It's pretty common. Do you have it, Jeff? You're an old fart.
He's muted.
He's muted.
He's muted? Oh, okay. Let me see.
And so is
here.
Brian.
Oh, there we go.
There he goes.
Do you have a little arthritis at all, Jeff?
In your hands?
Yeah.
Me?
In your hands? Yeah.
My hands are just old.
I mean, do you have arthritis?
Of course.
Oh, okay. All right. That's what I asked.
Mandatory.
It's mandatory. Well, now, what are you holding up there, Brian?
That's my mouse.
That's your mouse?
It's is that special?
Yeah, it's special because we have at work, we have our ergo team, and I was getting carpal tunnel because my hands are so big. I have large hands, so
Well, you know what they say.
I know. Yeah, large gloves. Okay, so so because my hand's so big, it covers that mouse, and my wrist would be hitting the bottom, even with those, all the ergo stuff that they put, all the fancy foam and everything. So the EHS guy recommended this, the ergo guy, because now when I'm holding that mouse like this, all the weight is on this little piece of fat right here. So it rests on there instead of down here. So this one actually works really well.
How do you hold it? Hold it up and then hold it like you would.
Yes. Yeah. So see it on that little piece of fat right there is where it hits. So the best thing is Tiffany can't use my computer because she hates this mouse. She can't use it because it's a little bit tricky how to go up and down, all around.
Yeah.
Use the cursor.
Have you ever used those ergonomic keyboards at all?
Yeah, the ones that are in
A butterfly.
V-shape.
Butterfly,
Yeah.
they call them.
Yeah.
I could never get used to those.
Yeah, I can't get used to those. Yeah.
And I know
You
they're
need 'em.
probably, if you can use them, they're probably pretty good.
Yeah.
But
There's something about the Apple keyboards that they're too small. They're little chiclets.
these
I use-
keyboard. You mean this? This is what I got here. This. You're talking about one of these.
Yeah, yeah.
The chiclet
Yeah.
board. Yeah.
They're chiclets.
Mhm.
Back in the day, early computers, they had keyboards that felt like typewriters.
Yeah, I like those big keyboards.
Yeah,
And I think you can.
and-
I think you can still buy them. Yeah.
Well, they were tactile like a typewriter. You felt when you pressed on the key, it clicked.
Well, you know what I think? I think here's what happened. Okay, what happened when you buy an Apple?
Right.
Forget about the portables, the laptops. But when you would
Yeah.
buy an Apple, what would come with the Apple? A mouse and a keyboard. Okay.
Not the Mac Pro.
No,
You had
no,
and also the
no,
but-
the desktop Macs
oh,
all
okay.
came with a keyboard and a mouse, and the
Yeah.
keyboard was this huge mother keyboard. Still have one back here, and it was terrific. It was just terrific. Gave you enough room for typing. The keys had a certain resistance to them. And all of that. And then all of a sudden they come out first with one less than this, and then finally this. And I think they're just cheaper to produce. 'Cause-
This is Stephanie's, and Simon has one about the same size.
Yeah.
But theirs lights up. Each key lights up and glows, and then if you go on YouTube, they have like these tutorials.
Yeah, but look how
about
much thicker. Look how much thicker that is than this.
And each of these, they have these special ones that make a clicking noise.
Yeah.
And they all the reviews on how the clicking noise is faster or louder or harder. There's like a whole tutorial on each kind of key that they sell.
Well, you know what happened? I've got another keyboard for my PC over here, and it's this, and it's about the same kind of thing as you're talking about. But the problem with it is that on 2 occasions I've accidentally spilled water on it. Okay, because I bring in liquid for me to suck on and whatever while I'm doing the show, and and then what happens usually when it goes into this Apple keyboard, you just wait for it to dry out and it's good to go again. These things, forget it. It doesn't work ever again. So last time I had to replace this one, I bought 2 of them just in case I fuck it up again.
Do you have any canned air?
Yes, I do, but that doesn't help.
No.
It doesn't help. Yeah.
Whoosh.
You need a bowl of rice to stick it in.
Well, I don't know if the rice would do it for these. I mean, this is such a cheap keyboard. It's like, a $10 keyboard. The reason I bought it is because it's small enough to fit right in this area over here, which is a very cramped area. So, I mean, I have 2 keyboards here, one for this machine, one for this machine. And then, of course, 2 more over in that direction, one of which is Marjorie's, which I have as a, she has the wide one with all the numericals in it.
Yeah.
So it's really big, and it's not wireless. It's actually you plug it in, and it works. So she has that one. You know, we have everything around. We have more computers in this house than we should have. You know, then you add to it a couple of iPhones, a couple of iPads. You know,
Faye's birthday was Sunday.
Yeah.
I didn't know what to buy her, so of course I went to the Apple store and I got her the new iPad.
yeah,
It doesn't use a Lightning. It uses the mini USB on both sides, the USB-C,
Yep.
yeah, yeah.
and so it's not a Lightning. So of course now,
You know,
only
they've
have the
had
one
those
cable.
they've had those USB-Cs, they call them, for
Right.
the longest time.
Yeah.
And Apple just has never gone to them because they like their proprietary stuff, and the Lightning was proprietary.
Yeah.
And somebody should tell them one day, why don't you just kind of put stuff there that everybody can hook up? You know,
They don't want that.
You always had to get one of these things for the iPhone, for instance. You
Yeah,
know.
Make more money.
and pigtails. You got to get pigtails if you have a Motorola style jack, and you want to plug it into the Lightning.
Yeah.
And that's $25 from Apple.
Yeah. I want to ask you a question. Can you stick around, Phil? Is it possible, or are you getting tired?
Sure.
Okay.
No, I'm getting tired, but I can stick around.
Well, I'm just begging for every caller I can get. You know.
Times are tough.
Well, I mean, Charlie is out tonight. He's out.
Yeah.
He's.
Well, where's Alan?
I know he's out smoking with some friends. But
Yeah,
don't,
he went to the city.
but don't
Alan
ask.
and Phil.
Don't-
Alan and Phil cannot be on the same show together, please.
Who? Yeah. Well, don't say where's Alan, because if you say his name 3 times, he'll
He'll
appear.
call.
Well, he's probably listening to the show driving from Fremont to the city.
Good. I hope he's crying behind the steering wheel. Anyway.
Yeah.
Today something happened which kind of pissed me off. Now, as you know, I've always been into space travel. I've always been a futurist.
Oh,
I've
yeah.
always been
That's-
into, going to Mars and going to the moon and going anywhere just to get the hell out of this place. Anyway, today I think Jeff Bezos cheapened space travel.
Not at all.
No, I think he did. I think he to begin with, calling themselves astronauts is a bit of a push.
They were weightless.
They were weightless for about 2 minutes,
2-3 minutes.
and they almost had to
But-
push themselves up to get themselves to float around.
Well, they were at what, 62, 63 miles?
I mean, let's face it. What's his name? Branson cheapened it by not even hitting space.
Well, he was weightless too, and
No, you
That's
know,
only
that's
because he was coming down.
because they were coming down. Is the reason they were weightless.
That's what they do in movies, right? They do that in movies and
No,
airplanes.
no, it's
They-
not movies. They literally, when they trained astronauts for weightlessness, they would put them in what they called the vomit comet. They called it, and it was this plane that would go take a dip and then go up like this, and as it hit that parabola, you started floating.
Wow.
And it gave them the feeling of weightlessness. And that's what happened to Branson. What happened today to Bezos is it was true weightlessness of space, but it was only for a couple of minutes because they went up past, I forget what the name of the area is up there. There's a name for it.
Tahoe.
Tahoe. Yeah. But you get up-
Stratosphere?
well, it's not the stratosphere. It's called something line. It's a name.
Kepler's line or something.
Yeah,
Kepler's line
yeah.
or something. Yeah.
Anyway, they went above that, and that's the official beginning of space. Okay, outer space, weightlessness. That's where fins on a rocket do not serve any function. Okay,
Wow.
up until it gets up there, the fins have a function for stabilization. The minute you get out there, they're just useless. There's not, But anyway, they went up there, and then they just came right back down.
Well, there was no pilot.
And
The
there was
whole
no
thing
pilot.
automatic.
Yeah,
There was no
automated.
pilot. The original astronauts, when they were going to be sent up, okay, we're told they were going to go in this what was a very small capsule.
Capsule, yeah.
Yeah, one person in a capsule. And they said it'll all be ground controlled. And they said, no, we want the ability to be able to control it to a certain extent, because all we don't want to be, as they called it, spam in a can. We want to be able to do a little bit of the negotiating of this thing. And so they were pilots. These guys didn't do shit. I mean,
Well-
I'm sorry. You strap me into a capsule, send me up on a rocket, which I would love to do. I'd do it tomorrow if they asked me. I'd rather do it with SpaceX because they really go into space instead of this pussy Blue Origin. And I would go in a second, but I would never have the audacity to call myself an astronaut.
Yeah, does that mean every passenger that goes up there, all these billionaires, everyone's going to be an astronaut all of a sudden?
Yeah, they're going to say they're all astronauts.
Well, it's only 28 million a ride.
No, it's
there was
not
one-
28 million a ride. It's only 200,000 a ride.
Well, just
that
look
was
at
the
how
down
many.
payment.
Just look at how many poor kids you could feed for that.
Well,
I understand.
you know where I find that wrong, Vernon, and I get that. I've gotten that on a lot of occasions. If you want to say that about NASA, you can say that. You got a good argument. When you're saying that about these guys, these are private entrepreneurs
aren't taxed enough.
sending people
That
up to
aren't
space, and their individual companies probably do contribute to food programs and a lot of other things too. But
Didn't they
basically-
win? Didn't they win some money from the government?
They won a prize of $1.5 billion, which is what got SpaceX started. But now they're making their money hauling people up to the space station and going up and sending
Satellites.
putting up satellites,
And now we don't have to have the Russians take our people up to the space station and back.
that's right. That's right.
Amazon-
But anyway, the point that I'm making is, Vernon, that your argument would have been very good where NASA was concerned and where the space program formerly was concerned. But none of that money is being diverted from public programs to take care of this space program. This space program is a business venture, and it's
Yeah,
all
they're-
being done by
Well,
private industry. Wait,
I was very
I'll get to you in a
impressed.
second. Yeah.
Okay.
You know, let me go first to John. He had his hand up first.
Yeah,
Sure.
Amazon is paying for that off the sweat equity from their employees.
Well, you know, you can get into that. That's a whole different political issue.
Hear what he said?
but-
He goes, I want to thank our customers and our employees because you paid for this.
John didn't he make a delivery when he went up there?
I don't know.
Yeah. Well, I'll tell you what they did today. I got this thing from. In fact, I can show the audience this. This is a letter they sent me. We wanted to let you know we've updated our customer conditions of use. One of our updates involves how disputes are resolved between Amazon. Previously, our conditions of use set an arbitration process for those disputes. Our updated conditions of use provides a dispute for resolution now in the courts. That means if you want to resolve a dispute with Amazon, you have to pay to go to a court to do it. It says, please visit us here to see the updated terms in full. Let's just look at this for a second. Let me bring this up. I have no idea what's here. Conditions of use. Look at that. Look at that. I'm going to read all that shit. I'm going to even care about that. Was this information helpful? No. Okay. Confusing or wrong? Confusing or wrong? Yeah. Okay.
Both.
What? What were you going to say, Brian? Brian?
I said both. Confusing and wrong.
Confusing and wrong. And or wrong. Yeah. So anyway, that's the.
I've never had a problem returning something that
Wait a minute. Let me go back
to
to your
Amazon.
pictures here. You've never had trouble? Have you tried lately?
Yeah, I bought some socks,
Uh-huh.
and it took them 2 months to send them to me. Finally, after about a month, I told them cancel the order and refund my money. And
And they said, sorry, we can't. We're sending up a rocket.
yeah.
Yeah.
Well, talking about the rocket.
Well, wait a minute. Let me finish
yeah.
with this. So if you call them now, like I have a problem where Amazon delivery, something like 7 or 8 times in the last 2 months, has managed to not deliver the package, even though they say it was delivered. And when I call them to complain, they say, well, you have to wait 24 hours because it might be, they might have said it was delivered, but it really wasn't. But you have to wait 24 hours. Well, every time I've ever waited 24 hours, it still didn't come. And they just make resolution of getting you to them, please call back tomorrow. Yeah, I got to call back tomorrow. I'm busy. I got other things to do.
What do you have
It's
to
just
do?
it's gotten worse. There used to be a time where you said, didn't come, they go, okay, we'll send you a new one. No question about
Well,
it.
maybe people abuse that.
No, he had to pay for a rocket.
Yeah.
Well, talking about the rocket,
Yeah.
I watched it on my phone during the conference, and what I was really impressed with was they said that the rocket was going to come down on parachutes and it would slow down to 1 mile an hour
Yeah.
before it
Yeah.
made contact. Well, they had a miles per hour speedometer thing that I could see, and it was 10 miles an hour when it hit, and then it went to 0. So it was 10, then 0. So they got a little harder hit than they thought they were going to get.
Well, but here's the thing. What they're doing, they're not coming really from up in high space. So they're not going to hit the friction of the Earth like they normally would were they coming in from, say the moon or whatever, from the space station. That's a whole different story. This was basically, they just went up, they came down. It's a 10-minute ride. That's all it was.
600 people gave deposits of $250,000.
Yeah.
The 18-year-old kid was supposed to be on the second flight, and what happened was somebody who paid $28 million to be on that flight, because that's what you had to pay, I guess. Above the 250 was just a deposit.
Yeah.
So the guy pays $28 million, and he says, "I got a scheduling conflict." And so he's
Wait a minute, I have a choice here of either going into space or going to a carpet convention. Let me see, what do I want to do?
Well, it wasn't the carpet convention. He probably had a dentist appointment. It didn't. He's just, stuff I don't want to cancel.
and if I miss a dental appointment, they're going to charge me for it.
Right. 28 million. So the kid, as far as I know, the father, who's a hedge fund guy out of Australia, negotiated a lower price with Jeff Bezos to get the kid in that seat.
Well, they also, I think, felt for PR purposes, having a kid with this old lady who had been.
Well, she was trained to be an astronaut.
Yeah. Here's what I hate about the network.
She's
today.
82.
Today I'm watching.
She was trained.
Yeah,
and she was trained to be an astronaut, not just put her seatbelt on.
Yeah,
they wouldn't let her go because she was a woman.
No. Here's but here that makes no sense. Maybe back then, I don't know. But all I know is that I was watching CBS, and the announcers were and I think it was Gail King. She's a moron. Gail King says women weren't allowed to go into space. And they said, this woman, she said something like, this woman is the first woman to have gone into space. And I went, wait a minute, how come we got a woman killed in the Challenger? And how many years ago was that?
That was in the 80s.
And she was a female.
We've had plenty of women on the.
Wait a minute, hold on a second.
Oh, yeah.
What do you got there, Brian?
I don't know if you can see it from a reflection, but that's Austin Powers, and it looks like Bezos. And in the movie, he launches into his spaceship and goes up, and it looks just like Bezos' rocket going right out. It looks like Bezos. That's Austin Powers.
Well, I think now I don't
know.
know.
Didn't the rocket?
Yeah,
Didn't the rocket look like a penis?
Yes.
Exactly. And this one does too. That's what they made fun of, and then it looks just like Bezos.
Actually, I think that the people really doing the space work is SpaceX. you know, and they're getting the job done. But you know, did you? Since I explained it to you, Vernon, do you see my point about why you say we got problems here on Earth? We got to take care of those first. This is
I
all.
was just
This is
I
all.
was just repeating what my wife said.
Oh, these are all.
I don't necessarily believe that.
Well, tell her that these are all private companies. No money is being taken or diverted from programs that would help people. You know, and it's you know, it's good. You know,
This is the beginning of space travel, and whether it's just 60 miles or 50 miles, it's the beginning. When they at the Kitty Hawk, when they flew the
100 feet.
Yeah, it was 100 feet. And look what we're doing now.
and they charge
You know,
they charge you $1 a ride for that one.
yeah, but you know, hey, yesterday Monday I got on a plane, and I was in San Francisco, and several hours later I'm in Denver. You know, can you imagine? You know, if
Well, there is one company, I'm trying to remember the name of them, that are working on a thing now where actually they will be doing passenger flights suborbitally between here and Europe, and you'll be able to get there in like 30 minutes.
There's going to be another Concorde they're coming out with.
Well, I think that's what they're
yeah,
that's
the
what they're
supersonic.
talking about. It's a suborbital contraption, which will go up and come down. Boom, that's it.
I'm still with Vernon's wife.
Maybe that's what Branson was working on.
No, that's Branson's thing was like a toy, you
An
know?
amusement ride.
An amusement ride. Yeah.
Has on the SpaceX thing, isn't there's a tunnel thing that Musk is doing with magnets?
No, Musk
and
was going to try a high-speed rail between Los Angeles and San Francisco, but I think he's kind of given up on the idea because they've kind of like been there are too many stumbling blocks in getting the rights to do it, and the digging of the holes and so on.
the name of the company is called Boring. Because they bore.
No, the name
holes.
of this show is boring.
It's also a boring project.
I don't know. I think
Wait,
it's
wait,
pretty
wait.
neat. You know, you could go that fast, and because there's, I guess, no friction, and
Yeah. Brian had his hand up there.
I'm still with Vernon's wife, though. I still think one person shouldn't be that rich to be able to make rockets and all that stuff. I mean,
Well, no, but
It-
in the case,
I went to a show this weekend, and people are complaining because my friend lives in Tracy and another friend lives over there. They just talk about how the homeless are taking over, and there's just not enough being done. So
yeah, but
I'm
my point is that
not doing enough, those type of things.
well, where I disagree with you on that is that when you talk about Bezos, maybe that's true, okay. When you're talking about Musk to begin with, when you're talking about billionaires, you're talking about a low-end billionaire, all right. He's actually started a company that is doing the work, and is really pretty much taking care of itself, and nothing's being taken out of anybody's pocket for that. You're not
But
paying.
Well, they were trying to toss up some number. I was watching CNN when they landed, and they were tossing up all these, just amazing. This is, unbelievable and all this stuff. And
They wouldn't know what
how-
amazing was.
I know. And how many people are going to be able to colonize, the moon or colonize Mars and all this stuff? And I'm like, we have a crop of life here. What do you think the life there?
Well, I really think that we're going to need to get out of here eventually. There is going to eventually be. I mean, there's eventually going to be a cataclysmic event here on this planet. It could be a huge meteor striking the Earth, the thing that wiped out the dinosaurs. We need to be ready for something like that, and we need to be somewhere else to be ready for that. And we can't then say, "Oh, gee, we should have gone to Mars." We should be on Mars, and I do believe our future. Let me put this romantically for you, as I've put it in so many times. We are like babies in a cradle, and what we're doing is we're leaving the cradle now. And our destiny is in the stars. Our destiny isn't staying here and being tethered to this planet, just like the future of a child isn't to be tethered to the cradle. How do you like that one?
hundreds of years ago, people set out on boats and discovered a new world, and
then discovered that they could take slaves there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, who else was going to row the boat?
Yeah.
But
Vernon, you got your hand up.
What's amazing to me is what we are doing here tonight, when in my lifetime, my very first personal computer was a Commodore 64.
Yep. Yep. And you think it's a short
And it
amount.
had 64K.
Yes. That's why they called it the Commodore 64.
that was an advanced computer, because I had one of those.
Yeah.
High speed.
From Radio Shack, the PET 4K, and it was fancy. It had a not a cassette, but a mini reel-to-reel.
Yeah, but I think they came in. They may have come after the Commodore. I don't know.
Well, the Commodore, I think, was more powerful than the PET.
Yeah.
Look at this thing.
What?
I can go down in the BART station and jam out and get paid for it. Listen to this thing. It runs on little batteries.
Wait a minute. Let's hear and see if he's any better playing the guitar now than he was a few months ago.
Oh, the ukulele?
No, he's got his big.
Is that a Fender?
Yeah. But this thing is cool. Wait.
Okay.
It's only got 5 strings. You got a discount?
Well, that's like the old pig amp.
Yeah, but it just runs on batteries. But listen to how good it sounds.
Yeah.
Hang on.
Well, I don't know. We couldn't probably tell here anyway because it's going through your cheap ass microphone.
It's a good amp. Listen. Wait.
Sounds great.
Gotta turn it on.
Is this called Dead Air?
Yeah, it's called Dead Air.
Got to plug it into the
We
guitar.
weren't planning on Dead Air, but we got it whether we wanted it or not. We can't hear you.
Well, he's got to plug it in.
We can't
and,
hear
and,
it.
and the batteries aren't supplied with the unit, so he's going to have to run down to the store and get that.
I think it's too far away. I think it's too far away from the microphone. Your microphone.
We can't hear it.
Can't hear it?
No.
No.
No,
Oh, there we
now
go.
I hear it.
Sounds pretty good, huh?
Do people a favor in San Francisco and don't go into the BART, okay? Not for a while.
How many coins did they throw at you?
I gotta give me $20. I gotta give me $20. But it was
Really?
This kid put $20 in there, and then the guy looked at me like, "What? Where does this kid get that money?"
Yeah, yeah. Well, anyway, so I was really, you know, I mean, I was wonderful that Bezos went up and he came down and everybody was safe and they went up there and took a little space jaunt and so on. But for people to misrepresent that as space travel, to misrepresent those people as astronauts, I think was a great disservice to all the astronauts who have gone before, who were literally, you know.
It was a tribute to, was it John Glenn?
I don't care
Yeah,
who
but
they said
John
they were.
Glenn actually went into space.
Yeah,
but his capsule was a tribute to that. And, you know, this is private people is starting to explore. And this is just the first trip.
This isn't even exploration. Look, this was going up and coming down. You got to realize that even John Glenn, who was our first man in space, was suborbital. He did about a half a thing around the Earth. John Glenn was the first to completely circumnavigate the globe. But these people were real astronauts. These were people going up in untested, untried territory. True pioneers. When you think of that piece of junk we landed on the moon and the fact that it took off again and they
It's
came
still
back
alive.
was amazing. Today, we can send somebody to the moon. It's just a matter of us building the hardware because, I mean, Bezos has got a rocket now. It's a big, huge rocket that can land on the moon rather than that small little lunar lander.
Alex, Bezos's rocket was able to touch back down after it separated from the capsule, and it didn't crash, so it's reusable.
No, I know
Whereas
that.
a lot of the stuff with NASA wasn't reusable
wasn't
until they
reusable.
started.
Well,
with
they
the
were
shuttle.
reusable, but they ditched them in the ocean, and then if they could find them, they went out and got them and brought them back and reused them.
Yeah, SpaceX has been doing that for a while too.
SpaceX has actually been landing the thing You know,
On a barge in the ocean.
well, no, they also
Yeah.
do it on.
Land 'em
They
on
come
the
back
ground.
to Texas
Yeah,
as well.
but it's much harder, I would think, to land it on a barge in the ocean
Yeah.
than
Yeah.
it would be to land it on land.
Mhm.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. But when they bring it back on land, it comes back pretty much where it took off, you know. And that whole part of it has been pioneered by Elon Musk and his company and SpaceX. It's just that what they did today should not be mistaken for true space travel. And if we're going to put our money anywhere, it should be with Musk, who now has a rocket that pretty much can go to the moon. Huge rocket, land on the moon, this huge rocket, and bring with it a bunch of materials and so on to build a base up there.
Now, didn't he send a rocket up into space with a Tesla in it?
Yeah,
One of the early
yeah,
Teslas?
that was one of his early rockets. He had a Tesla in the nose of the plane, and he's still
What happened
traveling
to
out
that
there.
rocket?
What?
Oh, it's still
It's
running around?
going out to the edge of the solar system. Yeah,
Wow.
yeah, and that little guy, that little dummy inside the Tesla, is still flying in that thing. So.
I wonder if that Tesla will still be under warranty with all those miles.
Yeah, right. I wonder if the batteries still work.
Yeah.
No, but I mean, I think that what SpaceX is doing is valuable and is going to make life better for everybody here eventually. I think what Bezos did today was say, "See, I can send a rocket up." That's basically what he did. He wanted his bragging rights, but his bragging rights compared to what SpaceX has done. I mean, they've sent up a total of, I think,
Several.
six people so far. Yeah. In those spacesuits that were designed by a guy who makes spacesuits for movies. Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Well, the thing about Bezos is he never said that he was going to go to the moon or any place like that. What he wanted to do was bring travel like this to the masses.
Yeah, but what is the
The
use?
rich masses only.
Yeah, but what is the use of that travel?
At the moment, you had to be one of the rich masses to take a plane in 1903.
Well,
You know?
well, you have to sit on the wing. The point is that I think that what's terrible about what they're doing is that what he's doing with Blue Horizon really has no function as a space entity. That he's only using it for, like, it's an amusement ride. That's what he's thinking of it as, but he's thinking of it as an amusement ride and not as something of scientific progress. You know, and it's really not. Doing what he did today was no big deal. The only big deal is that a billionaire got into it and flew with it.
Well, who else can afford to do that?
Well, I mean, that's true, but nevertheless, I just don't. If he's going to use this for some kind of amusement ride, I don't approve of it. I don't.
Can you imagine if both he and his brother, forget about the other two passengers, if something happened and the capsule blew up or crashed?
Well, we'd be cheering tonight, but I mean, let's face it, Bezos is not one of the nicest people in America, so I don't know that I was rooting for him. Okay.
Yeah.
But all I'm saying is that I mean, this is not a party trick, all right? This is serious business, and you got to take it seriously. SpaceX is taking it seriously. What's his name? Who did the flight last week?
Virgin Galactic.
Branson.
Yeah, Branson
Branson,
just
yeah.
wanted it because all that was a plane, okay, with a rocket on it. Huh?
Yeah.
What were you
There's
saying?
a glider with a rocket
A
on it.
glider with a rocket on it.
Hey, when you were a kid, you wanted to play with rockets, right?
I would have. I wanted to go to the moon. I wanted to
Right,
be the
well-
first man on the moon.
Well, these three guys,
And most of my friends agreed with me.
are
What?
wealthy. These three guys are wealthy enough to play with rockets that they can ride on.
Well,
And,
but
you know,
forget about wealthy. I mean, you're talking about Bezos, who is the richest man in the world. You're talking about Branson, who is somewhat rich. All he can afford is a glider, you know. But
But he owns his own Caribbean island.
yeah, But
But
what?
so did not Bronstein. Who was the guy that died in jail?
Jeffrey Weinstein.
Jeffrey.
Jeffrey
Yeah, yeah. He had his own island too.
Yeah, but Elon Musk, it
Epstein.
really
Epstein.
Elon Musk is a billionaire, but just barely. You know, it's not like he comes into that big club. He's not up there with Bezos and Gates and, you know, the Sage of Omaha. What's his name?
Yeah.
Warren Buffett.
Warren Buffett. Yeah.
And I wonder if Trump is going to want to have a rocket now.
I'm waiting for that one.
He'll sell timeshares in it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, no, he'll sell stock in it and then never build it. That's what he'll do.
Fair enough.
No, but it's really, you know, I just think that it is. I think it's wonderful that we have business involved in building these things, and that what SpaceX has done is create an inexpensive transport. I mean, you got to realize he's doing that stuff really on the cheap.
It's because it's reusable.
Well, it's reusable. That's one of the main reasons it's so cheap. But I mean, he's got. I don't know if you've seen the Musk's what do you call it? Base down there in Texas. But he's got them lined up. Just one at a time. They just take them and lift them and put them together and blast them off. I go to YouTube. Go to YouTube. Almost every other day, there's another SpaceX takeoff. They sent up a Sirius XM satellite the other day. You know,
It's about time.
they set up a thing. I don't know if you've seen this, but they send up satellites, and what they do is they attach them to the side of the rocket. All right. And then when they get up there, and they have video of all of this, so you can see it happening, they spit them out. Have you seen this, Jeff? You look like you're nodding. Yeah, they spit them out. It's amazing.
I mean, that's a functional product.
Yeah, but I mean, he's got a real business going there. He's got a real going space concern, as it were.
I think a lot of these things are just experimental stuff that people are doing because they want to try.
Yeah. Who said oh?
The toy.
Who said
If
oh?
you really want to say it.
Somebody said oh.
I was just going to mention something else other than the rockets. I saw a movie on the way out to Denver, and you remember the Better Call Saul guy, Bob Oberlink?
Odenkirk.
Oh, is that it?
Bob
okay.
Odenkirk.
Odenkirk. He did a movie called Nobody. Has anybody seen that?
Oh yeah, it's been out a while.
I want to see it. I haven't seen it
been
yet.
out.
I enjoyed it. I mean,
No, it was good. It was good.
It was a good.
You know what
movie.
I saw that I watched that I really liked, and then I went and watched the original, the first picture they did of it. Watch the I got to get this right. The Hitman's Wife's Bodyguard.
I never heard of that.
Very funny. And they had another film about 2017, which I just watched tonight, called the Hitman's Bodyguard, and they're both very funny, very funny. If you get a chance to watch them, they're very good.
Yeah, but I guess there's no more Better Call Saul. So
No, there is.
Oh, there's going to be another.
There's one season left. Yeah,
One more season.
One more season. Yeah.
Oh, good. I wanted more of that.
Oh,
Speaking of the last season, I just finished the last season of Bosch. You guys? watched
That was good. I enjoyed
Shecky, my friend Shecky, loves Bosch,
I like Bosch.
and I tried to get into it and I couldn't.
They're going to do a sequel, and it's going to be after he has left the LAPD and become a private investigator.
Oh, really?
Wow.
There are some Michael Connelly books about that, where Bosch is a private investigator, and they're gonna do a series, a subsequent series with Titus Welliver playing the lead, of course.
I never watched it. I tried
Vernon?
to watch one episode and it kind of bored me.
Oh
but-
no, it was good. Yellowstone is good too, and there's going to be another season of that. But Vernon, what did you think on Bosch of his tube Macintosh amplifier. I would think that you would get a kick out of that.
Oh yeah, I mean, there's no substitution for a good analog amplifier. No substitution.
Right.
I remember those Macintoshes when I was a kid. I couldn't afford it, but those things blew out sound.
Well,
like
that
you
house
couldn't-
house that he lives in too. That's an actual house.
Yeah, it's gorgeous. Yeah,
and
with the view.
and supposedly he could afford that because he was involved in some kind of a storyline that a movie picked up, and they paid him as a consultant when they produced the movie, and the money that he made off of that consultation allowed him to buy that house.
Yeah, very nice. And Alan had a Macintosh, a 275. I think that one.
When
was
we talk
like
about folks,
360
let me just say this for people who don't know what we're talking about. When we say Macintosh, we don't mean Apple. Okay.
Right.
No.
These were amplifiers that I think I first saw in the 50s.
Yeah.
Easily.
Yeah.
And,
Yeah,
This is
and-
the name of the
and
company that made them.
Right,
and they
had
were
exposed
tubes, and when these things lit up, you could roast marshmallows on them. I mean, it was powerful. Have you ever seen them, Brian?
Yeah, we had a company when I worked at a small company real close to here. The company across the street there, we would go over there every once in a while because those guys used to rebuild them with those real tubes in them.
Yeah.
And they used to play for us sometimes, and oh my God, the sound, you would think the band is right in front of you.
Yeah.
Yeah, I have. Alan has a Macintosh that he bought and wasn't using, and I tried to buy it from him, and then he found out that it was worth a lot more than I offered him. Because actually, I didn't even offer him anything.
Well, what
I
kind of
said,
Mac?
Get it.
Are you talking about Macintosh
it was
amplifier?
Yeah, it was a
okay.
275 model,
Yeah.
and so he paid the guy $500 to put in new tubes. And these tubes light up like orange and clean it up.
Where do
And I
you
think
buy
he's-
wait and how expensive are they?
I don't know. He paid-
Wait a
he
minute.
said
Hold
that-
on a second. Vernon, you should have an answer to that one.
Russia.
Really?
Really?
Most high-powered vacuum tubes now are made in Russia.
Wow.
Wow.
Do you know who invented the vacuum tube? Quick.
No. Hoover?
Lee DeForest.
Oh,
Who was Lee DeForest's nephew?
I don't know.
Calvert
Is that the guy-
DeForest. Who was, what's his name on the Letterman show? Larry Bud Melman.
Oh, really?
Yeah. There's a little trivia for you.
Hey, before we get away, did you guys see Fauci put Rand Paul in his
Oh,
place
it was
today?
beautiful. It was
I thought it was the other way around.
No, it was Fauci. Fauci told Rand Paul, "Sir, you do not know what you're talking about."
Yes.
He told
said
him.
something about not being a liar.
No, he
or
said if you're
you're
going
a
to talk
liar.
about people being a liar, you should start with you. Basically.
You're the liar.
Right.
Basically, he told him to take it, fold it 5 ways, and put it where
I've
the sun
never
don't
seen
shine.
Fauci get so hot like that.
I think Fauci's gotten tired of
angry.
I think he's gotten tired of going before that committee and always having Rand Paul start going in on one of his stupid rants, you know. And I think he's just decided not to put up with it anymore.
This is Alan's Macintosh.
Oh,
with
wow.
the new, yeah.
Wow. Well, there's the theme. Hey, to begin with, thank you, Phil. We really appreciate
My
you
pleasure.
sticking around here. And thank you to Vernon Nunn, who was the first one waiting to go on and is known as Ann Nunn. Oh, no, you have it there as Vernon Nunn. Right?
No, I changed it. She
Oh.
uses this computer to do Zoom meetings for her volunteer work, and so
Yeah.
when she logs into Zoom, it puts her name up there.
Yeah, whatever the wife wants. Yeah.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's right.
Yes, dear, you're right. Jeff, thank you so much. Great having you here tonight. Brian, always good having you here. John Larkin, take your amp down to the train station and see if you can get a couple of pennies. And,
I can practice down there. It sounds really good down there.
oh, okay. Hey, everybody, give a big wave goodbye, and we'll give a big wave goodbye at you, okay? There they go, ladies and gentlemen. That's our citizen panel for tonight. Thank them all for being here. Very nice conversation. Very sweet and nice and mellow. That's the way it should be. Anyway, Jack Bishop is next. He's here with The Intersection. Okay. Please give him a call, will you? If you're listening, please give him a call. Sometimes he gets to feel a little lonely. Give him a call, and he's using Skype, and it's Gabnet Live that you use. Just call him on Skype, type in Gabnet Live, and it'll take you right there. We're back again tomorrow night, right after the sports show goes on at 8:30. We're here at 10:30 Eastern Daylight Time. In the meantime, as always, as I like to say, if you see her, tell her I love her. And on top of everything else, please, if you aren't vaccinated, join the rest of us, okay? Get with the program.